Good evening and welcome to the Lower Macungie Township Board of Commissioners regular meeting of August 17th. Please join me for the pledge of the flag.
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, for the roll call, President Higgins is absent this evening. Everyone else that is scheduled to be here is here. As far as agenda modifications, there are none, correct? Announcements and presentations. There is the donation presentation from Lutron is being postponed till a later date. Hearings and approvals.
Yes, thank you. So before you for approval tonight is the written decision on the conditional use for Lanston Equities for the Lehigh Valley Town Center, which was heard in your prior meetings. Tonight is the written decision confirming the approval of that conditional use.
Move to approve. We have a motion to approve the consideration of the written decision for conditional use hearing of Lanston Equities LLC for the Lehigh Valley Town Center project. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any additional, is there any public comment regarding this item? Is there any additional commissioner concerns or questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution 2023-44, updating exhibits A and B for ordinance chapter 6. Part 2, hunting and trapping of township lands to define prohibited and permitted locations.
Thank you. You have before you for your consideration. Ms. Flexer has the map up. The township does designate certain areas for hunting and trapping on township open space. It also prohibits both of those activities in certain areas. You have before you the map created by township staff and verified by Mr. Trangooch for your consideration.
Move to approve. We have a motion to approve resolution 2023-44, updating exhibits A and B for ordinance chapter 6, part 2, hunting and trapping on township lands to define prohibited and permitted locations. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment regarding this topic? Is there any additional commissioner comment? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Public comment. I see that there's some new faces here. You are welcome to come up and please state your name and your address. And you have 3 minutes. And I would just ask that if everyone's here for the same topic, if they can just designate one person, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll happy to hear what you have to say. So.
Hi, good evening. My name is Matt Free. I live at 7524 Scenic View Drive at the Hills at Lockridge. We're here tonight from our neighborhood just to kind of bring the attention to the committee of the recent accidents that have occurred at the intersection of Shonik and Scenic View. We've been pretty concerned about this for quite some time, and we've witnessed 4 accidents since July 21st, which have been pretty serious. So we're asking for some consideration regarding additional signage or additional permanent markings for pavement markings. I've developed an exhibit that I don't know if I can submit to the commission as part of the meeting minutes, but it's just a suggestion on what we'd kind of like to see. So we'd really like to get some sort of resolution of this, because with our children, with the bus stops, with everybody kind of speeding through there, we understand that a sign was installed today, which is fantastic, that designates that the cross traffic does not stop. But we feel some additional measures would be warranted due to the recent accidents that have happened. And we would appreciate some consideration in that.
Sure.
Do I have the ability to?
Sure, you can
submit
give
this
that
as an
to-
exhibit?
Yeah, if you can give that to Renee at the end there.
Thank
She'll be
you.
able to put that into.
Is there anything I missed? Nope.
Thank you. Just so you know, we are aware of the situation.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to add anything, Bruce?
Sure. So our deputy director of community development, Mr. Trangooch, he has given us a brief and an update. He has scheduled the traffic engineer to be there and review the area. So the traffic engineer would come up with any recommendations that they may or may not have based on, required warrants like traffic counts, accidents, things of that nature. So it will take a little bit of time to get that report. As I got the updates yesterday, he kind of want to wait. He wants to wait till school gets in session to see that traffic and do those counts. He didn't want to do it Labor Day weekend or Labor Day week. He thought it would be a little thin on the traffic count. It might be a little lighter. So probably within the first, second or third week then of September, just to let the traffic go. We didn't want to feel like we were having a delay for any other reason, but that's the tentative schedule.
Okay, that sounds
right.
very reasonable. We appreciate you being proactive about it.
And if you're able to have your contact information, write that down, and anybody else, we can have him follow up as well with you guys.
Sure.
All right.
Great. Yeah, that's what they're talking about doing that. For that. This is my wife. She just mentioned that there were a couple of streets that were closed in our neighborhood for adjacent. So the amount of traffic has increased considerably since those road closures. So we just like that to be, taken under consideration as well.
Sure. And as Bruce mentioned, if you could just sign in and put your information there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then certainly you can hand that to Renee and we'll put that into the
Is it okay if I just use my information on here? Would you like it on the exhibit?
No, just on the,
Okay.
on the sheet there. That's fine.
And if anybody else wants to put their information down, if you want to put it on that sheet that you're going to submit, that way we have it. We can follow up. And we'll keep the board updated as well, probably at our September workshop meeting. We can have something back from the engineer by then.
I'm sorry. I was concentrated on that. Your last comment?
I was just updating the board that at our workshop meetings, which we have the fourth Monday of every month. If we have something back by the September workshop meeting from the engineer, we'll make sure that we share it with the board as well. So
Fantastic. Thanks very much.
Thank you
Appreciate
all. Sure. Come on up.
thank you.
Good evening.
Good.
My name is Phil Walwack. I live at 3554 Nerd Drive. And I also have safety concerns with the main street with all the accidents that we've had on Scenic View. It was mentioned about the 4 accidents within the past few weeks, very serious accidents, people running stop signs. Also, I feel that it's a traffic impediment. There have been for the past 6 and 7 months, large straight body trucks parked on Scenic View, right near the park across from the community center. These trucks are registered in New Jersey. There are for sale signs on them. They've been there for 6 months or more. I've taken pictures of the trucks with the expired New Jersey inspection stickers. I've already seen children running out from the park in between the trucks, almost getting hit by cars. So that's a big concern. Also on the weekends, there's a 53-foot tractor trailer that parks on the same side of the street. That is obviously a commercial vehicle over 26,000 GVW. That should not be allowed to park on that side of the street. And it does create a traffic flow problem because we also have other straight body trucks parking on the other side of the street. So now you have 2 trucks parked on a relatively narrow street near the park where you've got children coming out. I am putting forth a suggestion that signage should be placed there insofar as what type of vehicles could park and what type of vehicles cannot park. That's the first issue of safety on Scenic View. Second issue is one of the accidents that occurred near Schoeneck and Scenic View, the fence and a tree that surrounds the retention pond. Where the fence was knocked down, the tree was knocked down. That was almost a month ago. The fence has not been fixed. The wire screening that goes around the split rail fence to keep kids and animals out is wide open. And that's something I feel is a safety issue, especially if you have a rain and that retention pond fills up. There's no way of keeping small children out of there. So that would be good if that could get fixed as soon as possible. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. And again, if you could just sign that, fill that out. Any additional public comment? Seeing none, we'll go and move to communications.
Thank you. We have several this evening. Just so the board's aware, we've received communication from Lisa Fadulo and the manager in Upper Macungie who had a resident concern. They were forwarding about the proposed Lehigh Valley Town Center project. The last item, just to let the board know, we received preliminary notification from governor's press release that we will be approved for the Green Light Go grant funded program. We had requested $250,000 to upgrade the traffic lights at Cressler and Hamilton, Cressler and the bypass and Route 78 to include the adaptive signal, so it would be linked to the entire Hamilton Boulevard corridor. That's all we have for communication this evening.
Thank you. And there's no appointments or to boards, committees, or commissions. So we'll move on to approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Yes, sir.
I have one revision that, under item 6.1 in the minutes, it says Eric Schock reiterated their concern with conditions number 17, which requires final approval of and commencement of construction of the mixed-use portion of, within, okay, and the minutes show 3 minutes, but we're going with Exhibit 8, which has 5 minutes.
5 years.
I mean, years. So, 5 years of the conditional use approval.
Okay, so
So,
do we have a motion to approve the minutes
Move
as revised by Mr.
move to
Robert?
approve.
Motion and do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Do we have any public comment regarding the August 3rd minutes? Any additional commissioner comments? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved. Thank you. Approval of transfer bill list and payroll. Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. We have the following for your consideration this evening. The general fund, $283,395.93. The sewer fund, $53,903.64. Capital projects fund, $11,727.75. The liquid fuels fund, $236,767.30. The payroll, $184,925.44. Developer escrow, $253,714.94. For a total of all funds, $1,024,435.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve the bill list. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any public comment regarding the bill list? Any additional commissioner comment regarding the bill list? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved. Thank you. Departmental matters, engineering. Mr. McAdam.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Not much to report on. We're still obviously very busy with the capital improvement stuff. We're starting to get together budget recommendations and discussion with Bruce for the budget season. And obviously just kind of tracking where the various projects are. We're quite far along with some of the designs. And I should have some other more detailed information for you at the workshop meeting coming up.
Thank you. Planning, Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir. So we have two items for the board this evening. The first is a security release for the ABE door development on Hamilton Boulevard. This is the redevelopment of ABE doors facility as well as other slots in that mixed use commercial building, as well as the car wash that is proposed. We're currently, originally they had about $1 million in security that was required. We are currently recommending, following review by the township engineer, the release of $540,157, and there will be just over $500,000 remaining for the rest of the bonded public improvements.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve resolution 2023-45 security release for ABE door redevelopment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any public comment? Any additional commissioner comment? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
So for the second item, we have a sewer planning module for the Stonehill Haven subdivision. This is at the corner of Gaiman Road and Mountain Road, to the south, but up the side of the South Mountain there from the rest of the Stonehill Meadows subdivision, in both phase 1 and phase 2 down that way. I should note on this one, it's one new lot being created. So the planning module is for one sewer system for one new home that would be developed up there. The existing farmhouses would already remain in place. So it's an on-lot septic for just that.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the sewer planning module for Stonehill Haven. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any public comment? Any additional commissioner comment? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Anything else, Mr. Jones?
No, sir. I'll have some update items for you at the workshop, but other than that, done for the evening. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll move to 12.3, Solicitor Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. The first item for your consideration tonight is a resolution approving a compensation agreement relating to a condemnation that took place about 2 years ago. The condemnation was authorized around August of 2021. It was filed at that time. It relates to the Sauerkraut Lane Extension Project. There was small portions of this property at issue at 7800 Creamery Road that needed to be obtained for the extension of both Route 100 and the new Sauerkraut Lane extension. After the condemnation was filed, we entered negotiations with that property owner to try to agree on the compensation. Obviously, there was a lot of time that passed. It kind of went silent for a little while, but ultimately the property owner agreed to what we had offered as compensation. So this is just a resolution approving that agreement with the property owner.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-46, approving a just compensation settlement agreement with Ronald R. Muse for required right-of-way and grading easement on the property located at 7800 Creamery Road. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this topic? Seeing none, any commissioner comment? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Anything else, Mr. Fisher?
Nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Manager.
Thank you. Just to update the board, I have notified the Public Works Department about the concern that we've heard this evening about the stormwater basin, so I will keep the board in the loop on that, as well as I know the code office has been looking at that area and engaging on potential solutions or concerns with the truck parking on that part of the street. We've been working on that for probably over a month now, so also going to have to engage a traffic engineer to make sure we have appropriate width there and the portions that are public parking. So, and if we would need to restrict traffic, we would have to bring that back to the board to adopt an addition to the ordinance to prohibit parking. So we'll keep you updated on that as well. That's all I have. I would like a brief executive session for potential pending litigation
This evening.
this evening, if
Okay.
if
Yep.
it's the will of the board. Thank you.
And there is no old business. New business, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we will be presenting the Hillside School proclamation for their 40th anniversary on August 28th. Board and commissioner, are there any board and commissioner reports? The next workshop will be on the 28th at 6 p.m. in this room. And our next scheduled regular meeting will be September 7th in this room at 6 p.m. As mentioned, we will have a brief executive session again regarding, I apologize, Bruce, what did you say it was for?
Potential litigation.
Potential litigation. Thank you. And it is now 6:19, meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Thank you, Brian.